Imagine you're a 911 dispatcher, sitting in a dimly lit room on a quiet night shift in October 2018. The clock ticks past 3:17 a.m. and the phone rings. It's one of those calls that starts with nothing but static, crackling, like an old radio desperately trying to find a signal. You pick up expecting the usual, a wrong number, a prank, or maybe someone in real trouble. But what comes through the line isn't what anyone could prepare for. A voice, weak, raspy, almost drowned out by the interference, whispers, "Come get me, please. I'm trapped here." You lean in, heart starting to race. "Ma'am, this is 911. What's your emergency? Can you tell me where you are?" The response is slow, labored. 1427 Elm Street. "He's here. He won't let me leave. Come get me. Hurry." The address flashes on your screen, and a chill runs down your spine. It's a house that's been flagged in the system as abandoned for years. No one lives there. No one should be calling from there. And the name tied to the old landline? It belongs to Maria Gonzalez, a woman who died in that very house back in 2012. And this isn't just a creepy story. This actually happened, based on real reports of unexplained 911 calls that have baffled investigators for years. Buckle up, because we're diving deep into one of the most unsettling paranormal events ever documented. Let's set the scene properly. Riverton is a small town in the American Midwest, the kind of place where everyone knows everyone else's business, but some secrets stay buried. It's surrounded by endless fields of corn that sway like whispers in the wind, and in the fall the air turns crisp with the smell of decaying leaves. Elm Street is on the outskirts, a quiet road lined with old Victorian houses that have seen better days. Number 1427 stands out, or rather, it fades into the background, overgrown with weeds and vines, climbing the faded blue siding like fingers reaching from the grave. The windows are boarded up with plywood that's warped from years of rain and neglect. A rusted for sale sign leans crookedly in the front yard, half buried in tall grass. Locals avoid it. Kids tell stories around campfires about the Gonzalez ghost house, daring each other to sneak up and touch the door. But no one ever goes inside. Not after what happened to Maria. Maria Gonzalez was 42 when she moved to Riverton in 2008. She was a single mother, raising her young daughter Sophia after a messy divorce from her ex-husband, who had a reputation for being controlling and volatile. Maria worked as a nurse at the local hospital. Long shifts that left her exhausted but determined to build a better life. She bought 1427 Elm Street because it was cheap. A fixer-upper with character, she called it. The house was built in the 1890s with creaky wooden floors, high ceilings, and a basement that always felt a few degrees colder than the rest of the place. Maria didn't mind the quirks at first. She painted the walls a cheerful yellow, hung family photos, and turned the basement into a storage space for old boxes and holiday decorations. Sophia, who was 10 at the time, loved exploring the attic, finding dusty relics from previous owners. But things started to change in the winter of 2011. Maria began complaining to friends about strange noises. Footsteps in the hallway when no one was home. Whispers that sounded like her name being called from the basement. She chalked it up to the old house settling, or maybe the wind whistling through cracks. Her ex-husband, let's call him Carlos, had been harassing her with late-night calls, demanding to see Sophia more often. Maria got a restraining order, but it didn't stop the paranoia. One neighbor recalled seeing Maria standing at her window at odd hours, staring out into the darkness as if waiting for someone. She looked haunted, the neighbor said in a later interview. Not by ghosts, but by life. Then came the storm of 2012, a brutal blizzard that dumped 2 feet of snow on Riverton, knocking out power lines and trapping people indoors. Maria and Sophia were home alone that night. Sophia later told police that her mom had been acting strange, complaining of headaches and dizziness. They huddled in the living room with blankets and candles, but Maria insisted on going to the basement to check the old heater, a relic from the house's early days, with exposed pipes and a finicky pilot light. "I'll be right back," she said, kissing Sophia on the forehead. "Stay warm, mi amor." Sophia fell asleep on the couch, waiting. Hours passed. When Sophia woke up, the house was freezing. She called for her mom, but there was no answer. Terrified, she ran to a neighbor's house through the snow. The police arrived the next day after the roads cleared. They found Maria in the basement, slumped against the wall near the heater. Carbon monoxide poisoning, the coroner ruled. The gas had leaked silently, filling the enclosed space. Maria had likely passed out before she could escape. But there were odd details in the report. Chains on the basement door, old, rusted ones that looked like they'd been padlocked from the inside, and a crumpled note in Maria's hand, scribbled in shaky handwriting. "He won't let me leave. Come get me from here." Investigators assumed he referred to Carlos, but he had an alibi. He was out of town. No foul play was ever proven. Sophia was sent to live with relatives, and the house was sealed up, left to rot. 6 years later, in 2018, that forgotten landline in the basement somehow dials 911. Back to the dispatcher, a veteran named Lisa Thompson who had handled hundreds of calls, but nothing like this. The voice on the line is faint, echoing as if coming from far away. Lisa tries to keep the caller talking. "Ma'am, stay with me. What's your name? Are you injured?" The response crackles through. "Maria, it's so cold. He's watching. The door locked. Please, come get me out." Lisa's blood runs cold. She pulls up the records. Mariagonzalez, deceased. But the call is live, the signal strong. She dispatches units immediately, her voice steady but her hands shaking as she types the notes. Sergeant Mike Harlan and Officer Elena Reyes are the first on scene. Harlan is a no-nonsense cop in his 50s with a mustache and a skepticism born from 25 years on the force. Reyes, younger and more open-minded, grew up hearing her grandmother's stories about spirits in old Mexican folktales. They pull up in their cruiser, rain slamming against the windshield like bullets. The storm that night mirrors the one in 2012. Thunder rumbling, lightning flashing, glimpses of the house's silhouette. "This place gives me the creeps," Reyes mutters as they approach. Harlan grunts. "Just another hoax. Kids probably broke in." They knock on the front door. Hollow echoes. No answer. Flashlights on, they circle to the back. The door is ajar, swinging slightly in the wind. "Police, we're coming in!" Harlan shouts. Inside, the air is thick with dust and mildew. Their boots crunch on broken glass from a shattered window. Furniture is draped in white sheets like shrouded bodies. Cobwebs hang from the chandelier. They clear the main floor room by room. The kitchen with its rusted sink. The living room where Sophia once slept, now empty except for a faded rug. No signs of life. Then from below, a faint sound, whispering. "Help! Up here." Reyes freezes. "Did you hear that?" Harlan nods, his face pale. They head to the basement stairs, the wood groaning under their weight. The temperature drops noticeably, breath visible in the beam of their lights. The basement is a time capsule of tragedy. Boxes stacked haphazardly, old toys from Sophia's childhood scattered like forgotten memories. The heater squats in the corner, pipes corroded, a silent killer. And there, on a dusty shelf, the rotary phone, cord stretched, taut, receiver off the hook. It's an antique, the kind with a dial that clicks. Harlan approaches cautiously, gloved hand extended. He picks up the receiver. Static bursts in his ear, then the voice. Clearer now, desperate. You're here. Thank God. He locked me in. The door won't open. Please, get me out. Reyes scans the room. Ma'am, we're right here. Show yourself. The voice sobs. In the dark, so cold. He comes every night. Says I belong here forever. Come get me. Please. They search frantically behind boxes and corners, even prying at loose floorboards. Nothing. No one. But the phone is warm to the touch, as if its fingers had just released it. Reyes notices something else. Faint scratches on the basement door, like nails dragging down wood. And on the floor near the heater, what looks like dried tear stains. Dark spots in the dust. Suddenly, a loud bang echoes from upstairs, a door slamming. They bolt up the stairs, hearts pounding. The back door is wide open now, rain blowing in, but no footprints in the mud outside. Harlan radios for backup. We need forensics here, this isn't right. Forensics arrives at dawn. They dust the phone for prints. None fresh. The line disconnected since 2013. No electricity running to it. Yet the call log shows 7 minutes and 42 seconds of connection. Audio experts analyze the recording. The voice matches samples from Maria's old voicemail. Pitch, accent, even a slight lisp from her dental work. But how? Theories fly. Faulty wiring echoing an old message. A sophisticated prank with hidden tech. Or something more otherworldly. In the weeks that follow, more strange reports surface. Neighbors hear cries from the house at night. A real estate agent trying to show the property flees after feeling hands on her shoulders in an empty room. Sophia, now an adult, is interviewed. Mom always said there was something wrong with that basement, like it held on to pain. She reveals a family secret. Maria's grandmother had died in a similar locked room incident in Mexico, whispering about a guardian spirit that trapped souls. To this day, 1427 Elm Street remains unsold. The phone was removed, but locals swear they hear ringing on stormy nights. Investigators closed the case as unexplained. Some say Maria's spirit is reliving her final moments, reaching out for help that never came. Others whisper about him, the entity she mentioned. Was it Carlos's ghost? Or something older tied to the house's dark history? A 19th century murder-suicide in the basement, buried in old records. A husband who locked his wife down there during a storm, letting her freeze. If you're still with me, listening in the dark, ask yourself, what would you do if your phone rang from a number long dead? Would you answer? Or let it echo into silence, sweet dreams, or whatever's left of them?